Patrick Williams, also known as Two-Face. I'm a professional dancer from Germany and my favorite style is Tutting. I've got asked from Tutting India to make this little interview and answer you some questions. Question number 1. When did you start dancing? How did you get in touch with Tutting? And who inspired you for your Tutting? Well, I started dancing in 2004. I actually danced before in clubs, but that was not really that much. It was just to impress women and to have my fun. But 2004 I did my first battle in a club also, but I lost in final against a guy who then became one of my best friends. So he told me and showed me how to dance and how to do choreographies, what other styles are there, and he got me in touch with some other dancers as well. His name is Kimbo. He's a dancer from the choreography scene, but he's back then started also with breakdance and hip-hop. So after losing against him, I was like, I really want to learn. I really want to get to know what else is possible, and I knew that dance will be the thing that I want to do for my whole life. How I got in touch with Tutting was actually very simple. It was a music video back then in, I think 2006 it got released in Germany. That was Mystique with the song Scandalous, and in this video I could see Brucey Kanji, you probably know, from France. He's the organizer of Just Taboo, and he back then came through the crowd and did some waving and everybody was impressed, but I was really stuck with the Tutting that he did. I was like, what is that? I really want to learn exactly this. Back then nobody could tell me around my area what it really is until I talked with more and more people. When I traveled also, I've met people like RoboZ, who's later on, I tell you, big inspiration in my life, and people like them who got in touch with popping told me like, okay, this style is called Tutting, and then I was like, yeah, I really want to learn this. I really want to get into that really deep. So also, but like I said, for my inspiration, RoboZ was a big impact, but there were also people like Blockbuster, who's not dancing anymore so much, I guess, is a guy from Berlin, but he was like the guy who was already on such a high level back then, until I was like, okay, yeah, I really want to push the level, I really want to push the limit. But yeah, there for sure was Salah from France, who had like a huge impact. I was really like copy pasting until I understood like, oh yeah, I should do my own style. But back then he had such influence. His isolations, his movements, his waving, his speed control was so on top level. And yeah, he was like one of the people who had like a big impact on my dance career and dance style. So question number 2. What is the reason behind your stage name R2Face? Well, there's a misunderstanding. My dance name is Two-Face. R2Face is just the artistic development of my dance style and my career as an artist. It's not only dancing, it's also video and photography, what I'm getting into right now, and it's also drawing and design and clothing and all the things, but stuff like this will come later in the future. So my dance name is Two-Face, and the reason behind it would be like a story. When I was with my breakdance crew back then called Los Caballeros, we were really young guns, and we really wanted to impress. So I was wearing white clothes, we had our faces on the shirts, we were really like trying to impress, and I wanted to color my hair white. Well, we ended up doing it white and black, like just a half. So back then people were calling me chessboard and stuff like this, so they're making fun of me. But when I was dancing, people were like really impressed. They were like, oh my god, he's going really into zone. He's so abstract, but he gives so much energy, so much power, and he looks so serious behind it. But then people were talking to me and they were like, oh, actually you're a cool dude, you're not like this crazy guy that you represent on stage. So they said like, oh wait, you're more like a Two-Face, that really fits you. Also, I really want to impress with different textures in my characters that I present on stage. It doesn't mean that I can be this shy, really humble guy all the time on stage. I can be really outgoing, really aggressive, outrageous, but then I can be also like really shy and vulnerable on stage. I mean, that's like the possibility to give you a new identity in your dance, as not as a person. I don't want to represent anything negative with Two-Face. I want to represent like the possibility to create something, and by creating something I always have to create a new character, a new characteristic and attribute for this persona. So that's the reason, and that's why I'm Two-Face. Next question, number 3. How did you come up with Illusionary Dance Forms? How is it different from Tutting? So for you to understand, Tutting is a dance style. Illusionary Dance Forms is more of a platform or a filter for people who are considered as misfits. So people who don't belong in the classical style of popping, who don't belong into the classical style of breakdance, for example. So it's not something where you have to be like, oh yeah, you have to dance this kind of style. It just have to be illusionary. So everything that's like a wave, a shift in time, something like animated, something that's unhuman, something that gives you the effect on the eye that you will say like, oh wait, how is that levitating, or how is that like stuck in air? All these kind of techniques that gives you an illusion are be possible to represent in Illusionary Dance Forms. We're not genre based with any music. We don't listen to only popping music, only dubstep music, only house music. We are open for every kind of music, but we give a platform and the possibilities for other people who don't belong into certain styles to exist in that kind of platform, in that kind of community. That's the kind of difference that we want to make. And Tutting is manipulating shapes and lines, so it's also an illusion. It can be an illusion. So it also fits into the platform of Illusionary Dance Forms. Next question. So we are question number 4. What is Tutting for you? Your views on Tutting dance form. Well, Tutting for me is so much because there's so much possible, but the one thing that I always say is that we as dancers have just scratched on surface possibility wise. We're able to do so much more with Tutting. We can put so much more textures, we can put so much more illusions, and we can put so much more space wise and coordination wise into it. We could mix it up with different dance styles. We could create something completely new. We can be more smooth than back in the time when people were like just doing king tuts or magazine tuts or a certain style of Tutting. Nowadays we can mix it up with so many different elements that it's so amazing, but I think we are still just at the beginning. So for me, Tutting is the possibility to be creative in the space around me and to create my own world, my own dimension where I can exist. So it has this big impact for sure, and I think it's the one thing that I most definitely do every day, even if it's just like a little bit, even if it's just like, oh okay, I'm talking to you guys and I'm just practicing a little bit to say like, oh yeah, okay, I do some Tutting. It's already there. Like that's something like eating for me, something that has to be done because it's so much in my body. But on the other hand, it's just this creative aspect where you can really do so much exploring. It's like the one thing that you can explore until you get old, and that has the beauty of it. So I'm not sure if it's like a satisfying answer, but I don't want to praise it as a religion or something, but it's really something that's so cool. Once you get into it, you cannot stop it. Next question. Question number 5. What is your ultimate goal as a dancer? To be honest, I would like to leave something behind when I'm quitting, leaving dancing, or leaving this world, when I'm dead, that people will still say like, oh yeah, there was this one guy who had like insane ideas. And I think that's something missing nowadays. Back in the days we had like talked about dancers, Fred Astaire, Sammy Davis Jr. or Gene Kelly, these people were legends, and I felt like at a certain point we stopped to creating legends in dance. What is a huge pity, because I think the value of dancers is so low while we are just putting so much energy and effort inside our craft. So I think it would be nice to have the same value as every other artist in this world, as a singer, as a designer, as a painter, as whatever exists. We have the same amount of work behind everything we do, so I think we deserve the same value. And I think everybody should really think about it, especially while we do pricing nowadays, while we do like our own social media, how we represent each other and ourselves. So it's really important that people understand this is not just a joke. It's not just like, oh yeah, can you do a flip, or can you do just a wave, or can you do a little bit of finger tutting. It's like, it's so much more. We represent an art form with our body and with our mind and with our soul and love. So I think it's really important that people understand the value of dancing, and this is my ultimate goal, that people understand that and really appreciate us as what we are doing. Next question. Question number 6, a good one. Favorite dancer in your country and in the world? Do you follow Indian dancers? If yes, who's your favorite? I have a lot of people that I would like to talk about, but I keep it short and a little bit small. While one of my favorite dancers here in Germany most definitely will still be Robozy. He had like this big impact I was talking about, and he created himself like so much. And when he's in his zone, when he's really like free of all the pressure and all the things that going on around him for competition or whatever, I think he is really one of the best in Europe. But there are other dancers who are so amazing in Europe, like Kali. She's also like one of the people who are really fit into Illusionary Dance Forms. But there's so many more, and for me, favorite dancers around the world, for sure, people from other dance styles as well. I was so impressed by Javier Ninja, how he's creating all these forms and shapes around his head and face and the energy around him. Really amazing. Slim Boogie, he has this certain flavor that nobody can bite and nobody can steal from him. That's like something that makes him so unique. Yoshie or Yonjin, I think, I hope I pronounced that name properly. I'm so bad with pronouncing names, I'm sorry. But those girls, they have so much flavor and so much energy, so much power, and they're so humble. That's something we should be so precious. It's so amazing, simply so amazing. Then there's still Salah I was talking about. Amazing dancer, amazing personality. You should most definitely get in touch with him. He's a good soul, he's trying to support, he's trying to push, he's always pushing the limits. So amazing. Since day one I was really looking up to him. Even though we had difference in our time as dancers, we really became good friends, and I really appreciate him as a person. But yeah, there's, I said Yonji, Yoshie, there's Kite, totally different dance style. It's not something that I would do, but looking at him, he's so inspiring, so amazing as a person, so amazing in his movement, simply great. There are Krumpers as well. I was like, wow, what are these guys doing? This is ridiculous. And yeah, there's Big Wave, there's I cannot even tell all the names because there's so many amazing artists. And there's one thing, and this comes in the next and last question, so I will keep it, but I say uniqueness. These dancers all represent their unique style. So finishing question number 6, I would say like, yes, I follow some Indian tutters, but there's so many out there, so I'm really sorry if I don't know all of them yet, but I really hope that I get in touch with more people. And I don't have like a favorite dancer. I never have this. I always have people that I really look at and see like, oh, there's even potential, talent, there's a certain energy or a certain style to it that I really feel like, oh, I get touched by it. So a group of tutters would be that I'm really impressed by is PS2. I hope that's the correct pronunciation, or maybe there's like a certain type of saying it. But yeah, PS2, these guys bring something that I was really amazed. What they did with their heads and their shapes, how they create isolation and pictures with just their heads or body parts, it's really, really nice. I'm really impressed by that. But then there's also the Force people. I don't know if that's a group or collective, but Needy Force or Alvin, these guys are like really, really nice. They really put a lot of energy in their dance, and I think they get inspired by me, and sometimes they really inspire me back. So I'm like, really, wow, okay, these guys are really, really nice. But then there are also poppers. I saw Jenny, I don't know how to say her last name, Gusai, I'm really sorry, but seeing her from like 1 year ago until now, there's so much development. I'm really happy that she makes like the cut, especially for women. I think it's really tough in certain countries for women to dance, but she's really putting something on the map, and that's so amazing. I'm really impressed by that. But then, yeah, there's so many dancers from India, and I just have seen so few of them. So I'm really looking forward to work in India, to connect with people, to share my knowledge, to share my experience, to support, to help, to teach. All these kind of things I really would give to back to Indian people who are sharing so much love and so much appreciation with me. So thanks a lot. The last question, 7. What message, advice you want to convey to all the dancers? And that's what I said in my last question. Be unique. There's nobody else in the world who can take your own idea, your own flavor, your own style. If you're different, don't think it's something bad. If you're different, it's just because you experienced something else, and you have another body, and you have another mindset than other people. So it's good to be different. It's good to be unique. And if you don't want to understand that, if you want to follow, that's also okay. But at a certain point you will understand that being unique is the most precious thing that you can have, because that's something that nobody can take from you. Nobody. So really try to figure out which way you want to go. It's a long and it's a hard way to go, but I will promise you that if you go your own pathway, you will be able to succeed one day. And yeah, this is my best advice I can give. Be unique and enjoy it. Enjoy the hard work, enjoy the struggle, enjoy all the things that make you stronger and make you the one person who succeeds. That's it from me. I'm thanking Tutting India for this interview, and I hope you enjoy it, and talk to you soon. Peace.